What's up, guys? We are live in this video. The most underrated credit hack that ever existed is what I'm going to talk about in this video. How to remove one, even two late payments on your credit report. It's your boy, Econ Bulldog, and we're going live right now. Okay, so one of the things I want to make you guys understand is that late payment sometimes mistake, right? You forgot, right? The do's and don'ts, right? Like, oh man, I forgot I had an auto pay, and then you change your credit card, and then you change bank accounts, and then they weren't able to take it out, right? It happens to the best of us, happens to me, right? Nobody's perfect. I know sometimes when you're like grown, hey, you're a grown ass man, figure that shit out, right? Or a grown ass person. Um, and that's not the case. Things happen, right? Sometimes we're overwhelmed with life, but like I said in this video, we're gonna talk about how to remove this late payment. All right, and I want to be clear. Just because you have a late payment doesn't mean like what's that thing you get bad luck for 7 years or something like that. It's it is part of growing, right? How are you going to learn if it's never happened? How do you tackle it if it's never happened, right? So um, I'm going to tell you that you're not stuck, right? You're going to use this, what I'm going to share with you guys, so you guys can remove the late payment and, get you back 30, even 80 points. Okay. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to just dive a little deeper into that because I took some notes. I'm gonna tell you what not to say, okay? Because I feel like a lot of people they say the wrong thing, and it's just how you frame it, right? You frame something properly, chances are it'll go your way, right? If I tell, for example, hypothetically, I tell my wife, "Hey, I'm gonna go out with the boys, right? I'm gonna go out, drink, watch some football, or something like that." If I frame it like that, she's probably gonna be like, really, or you know what I mean. But if I frame it like, hey, babe, after church on Sunday, right, and after we have lunch, um, you mind if I go out with the fellas just to hang out for a few, right? If I frame it like that, I'm sure it's going to be different. Same thing when it comes to your credit and how to remove this late payment from your credit report. Like, one late payment can cost you 30 to 80 points. And the more recent the late payment is, the more heavier it is on your credit, like especially with, FICO 10T. Um, like I said, the most recent, like if you got a late payment 3 months ago, it's loud. That one is like it's brutal and it's affecting your credit. Your score probably dropped, 30 to 80 points. Okay. And why this Goodwill courtesy, why it works, because, or it mainly works for people, right? That if you have um, mostly on time payments, right? The late payments you have are less than a year or two. Okay. You currently paid on time. So you're like up to date. Okay. And you've been a long term customer with them. They will eat that up alive. Okay. And then you're calm, respectful, and you're a human being. Okay. I feel like sometimes people try to get it their way and they're like really, anal, and they're like, hey man, I just called. Just you need to remove it. Like, that's not gonna get you ahead in life, period. All right. We all know that. Okay. This is now okay. It even works better, right? This is the tip. If you have your card on auto pay. So, like, let's say in the last 3 months you had a late payment, I would call right now and have the minimum payment on auto pay. And you can also do it from the app. Okay. I always say call because, hey, right? customer service rep. They can walk you through everything if you get confused on the app. Okay. And so it works even better. Like I said, if you had auto pay issues, a bank change, if you change your bank, this will work. You had a job loss, a medical, emergency, it works better. Or just straight up if you forgot once. But I want to mainly, like I said, different framework. Okay. Um, this is not about arguing the law. This is not about disputing. This is um, just having a human interaction. Okay. So we're going to go over what not to say. Okay. Do not say you have to remove this. The law says, okay, I'm disputing this. No. Okay. You're ruining my life. Don't say that. Okay. I wasn't late. Even if you were, don't say that. Okay. You're asking for a favor, right? It's a courtesy, right? It's a courtesy, goodwill courtesy. Okay. So, real quick, before you um, get ready for the call, okay, I want you to know the date of your late payment. The date of your late payment. So, a 30-day or a 60-day late. 60 days, like you've been back to back consecutive. 30 days, obviously, you were only late one time, right? 30 days. Okay. So make sure the account is current. Don't call if you still owe. Not going to work. Okay. Um, so if it's past due, pay it first. Make sure it's current. Okay. Um, obviously, round the right mindset. You want to just be respectful, get that good energy vibe before you call, of course, and then call the number on the back of the credit card, right? It's usually customer service or customer care, okay? And then this is the exact Goodwill call script, okay? Before I get into the script, just know I'm having an academy where you work with me all year. All you have to do is text the number 951-667-8391. Text Academy. Me or my team will reach out to you so you can join the academy. We'll talk marketing, growth, how to make money with credit, how to leverage credit, trade lines, and more. Okay? But let's get back to the video real quick. So this is how the script is going to be. Hey, thank you for taking my call today. I'm calling regarding my account because I noticed there was a late payment reported on my credit report. And I wanted to see if there's anything that can be done as a courtesy, not disputing, not that, a courtesy. Okay. I want to be upfront. I take responsibility for the late payment. It was not intentional and it doesn't reflect how I normally manage my accounts. You took ownership, you said courtesy, right? And you're being a human. I've been a customer with you guys for X, Y, and Z, and I made it a priority to stay current since then. Okay, so you're just stating the facts. Okay, I'm currently working on improving my credit, and I was hoping you might be able to review my account for a one-time Goodwill adjustment and consider removing the late payment from my credit report. I completely understand if it's not guaranteed. I just wanted to ask to see if there's anything you could do to help. Okay? It's if they say no, don't argue. Okay? I personally would say I understand. Is it possible to speak to a supervisor to be reviewed by them? Like I said, no argue, don't raise your voice. That's not going to get you nowhere. Okay? If they agree, say this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Can you confirm that this adjustment will be reported to all three credit bureaus? Okay. This is if they agree to remove it from your credit. Okay. And can you confirm that this adjustment will be reported on all three credit bureaus? Ask when will be updated, right? Usually 30 to 45 days. And then get a reference number. Please Get yourself a reference number. Hey, can I get a reference number? Can I get a name? Timestamp that, whatever. Okay. And then obviously, write the rep's name. If they say no, here's the play. Okay. No doesn't mean never, it means not today. Remember that, guys. My wife tells me no. Hey, no today. Later on, you're going to say yes. Okay. Um, so call back in 30 days and then try a different rep, send a written goodwill letter, or ask again after 3 to 6 months for perfect payments. I've seen people get approved on the second call, third call, fourth call, and or after the supervisor review. Okay, and I feel like with my channel, you want to be persistent, right? Persistency wins. I feel like one person tries something and they're like, "Oh, bro, this didn't work." Okay, it didn't work because you gave up on the first try. Okay. Um, if you're getting value from this call, definitely book a call with us. Okay. I know the call's live. Um, 1 second. Awesome. Yeah. So if you watching me, and I know you watched my previous videos and you want to get into Navy Federal, like I said, book a call with us. Link's going to be in the description. Book a call. Anyone that does this late payment, please leave it in the comments. Follow this script. I want to see you guys break bread, make more money moves in 2026. We're here about leveraging. We're here about growing. Don't stay the same. And with that, I'm out.